ATP, what it do with your boy Clay? More rain. You guys with another one. Shout out to all my subscribers. Thank you for the support. If this is your first time tapping into the content, I am going to invite you to go ahead and hit that subscribe button, hit your bell icon as well, so you all getting alerts when all this content is dropping. All right, so look, man, Mauricio Sulaiman, Turki Al-Sheikh announced WBC Prospect Boxing Grand Prix launching in April. Guys, you know that this here was actually in the works for a couple of months now, where Turki Al-Sheikh was addressing the whole entire fighter development program, right? Basically, the boxing space has been embracing what Turki Al-Sheikh has been doing as far as putting the biggest fights together, but at the same time had concerns as to whether or not he was actually going to be here for the long run. And, you know, actually developing new fighters was something that space wanted to see him embrace a little bit more. So him and Mauricio Sulaiman coming together. Mauricio Sulaiman's father, before he passed away about 10, 11 years ago, wanted to go ahead and put this huge boxing World Cup of sorts, right? When you think about the World Cup, you're thinking about soccer. He wanted to do the same thing for the boxing space, but he wanted to do it specifically for the prospects. So they've organized this here, and it's actually pretty interesting what they put together. It's going to be about 100, let me see here. I wrote a couple of notes down here, but it's going to be 128 fighters in a whole entire tournament, 4 weight classes. We're talking about the featherweight weight class, junior welterweight, middleweight, and heavyweight. Age limit, 26 years old. So 26 years old or younger, and no more than 10 professional fights can enter into this tournament. Now, obviously, when you're talking about Turki Al-Sheikh, you're talking about the best paydays. So all the prospects in this actual tournament are going to be getting paid, you know, pretty well, right? I'm sure they're not going to get paid like a Canelo Alvarez, right? But they'll still be getting paid pretty well to be inside this tournament. It'll be hosted in Saudi Arabia. It'll be in 4 major cities in Saudi Arabia where this is going to be hosted at. 128 fights, 32 fighters in each division. It's going to be real interesting. 6 rounds for the first round, starting in the first round, and the final round will end with the finalists having 8-round fights, no draws, and there'll be open scoring. That's going to be interesting as well. This is something that they do internationally, but the United States, they don't really do the open scoring thing like that. That's going to make the competition a little bit more interesting, right? Just to see how these fighters are progressing through. I'm assuming the fighters and their coaches will also be aware of the scoring as well. That's going to be interesting because now that the fighters will know exactly where they stand, that could affect the way they fight the following round, right? If you're ahead, maybe you'll pull back a little bit, kind of embrace the space a little bit. And if you're, behind, and that'll kind of help you pick up the pace a little bit in the next round. It makes this sport a lot more interesting, right? And as I said, this is going to be real interesting. VADA testing throughout the whole thing, random testing throughout the whole thing. It's going to be more interesting because a lot of prospects, some of the best prospects all around the world, will be able to meet in this one forum, with this one platform to go ahead and showcase all their talents. You already know all the big promotional companies as far as Queensberry, Matchroom, Top Rank, the PBC, Golden Boy, Gold Star, Queensberry. All these Matchroom, all these guys are going to be present, probably looking to get their pick of the litter to get the best fighters that they think they can promote. It's just going to bring in a whole new wave of talent into the space. Guys, I mean, listen, Turki Al-Sheikh is hitting everything on all cylinders, covering all the points one step at a time. As the space comes up with new problems or new issues with what he's doing, he's addressing them one at a time, right? And that's one thing you got to appreciate about what he's bringing into the space. This guy really has an interest in not only the sport of boxing being competitive, but also the future of the sport of boxing, and hopefully checking some boxes for some people and answer some questions for the people who may be speaking on the fact of whether or not he's not going to be here for the long run. If he's just here for just a minimal amount of time, just to have a good time, I think investing into the prospects, putting this Grand Prix together, which I think is probably something we could look forward to maybe once a year or once every couple of years. We'll see how this one works out. Obviously, I'm sure Mauricio Sulaiman and Turki are at the table trying to figure out the best way to roll this out and keep it going. But let's start at this first event. They're supposed to be rolling out in April. They haven't given a date yet. I mean, Turkey is also Muslim. Obviously, everybody knows that Ramadan's coming up this coming month, so that kind of makes sense for the 30 days of Ramadan not to launch something like this in Saudi Arabia, obviously. But at the end of Ramadan and in April, I would think early April, we should be seeing this thing roll out. What do you guys think about it? Let me know in the comment section, because this right here is developing a whole bunch of prospects in the game. And listen, this is going to be in the junior welterweight division, the featherweight, the middleweight, and the heavyweight division. The American presence is probably going to be bigger in this Grand Prix, probably in the junior weight, the middleweight, and the heavyweight division. Now, excuse me, the junior welterweight division, right? So that's 140 pounds. So you might see some 135-pound fighters move up into this conversation. The prospects, like maybe like an Abdullah Mason, right? He kind of checks the boxes on something like this. Andy Cruz doesn't check the box, unfortunately, right? But you can imagine all the different different kind of talents that are probably going to be looking at this and eyeballing this as not only an opportunity to make good money, but also to get involved into something where at the end of it, the exposure is going to be priceless, the experience is going to be priceless, and obviously promotional companies get an opportunity to look at these fighters and maybe get them involved in those promotional companies and help expand and add to the talent base, to the talent pool in boxing today. Let me know what you think, man, because I'll tell you what, it's got me excited. I don't see anything to complain about. I'm sure people will find a reason to complain. The people that are going to complain, they're going to complain. Well, this Grand Prix is something that I'm looking forward to see happening. Let's see what comes up out of it, or whatever have you. I'm playing with the words, right? We're going into February 22nd, right around the corner, going to the biggest card of in the history of boxing. That's exciting, of course. What a better place to announce something like that at. Shout out to all my subscribers. Tap in. Let me know what you think in the comments. Remember to hit your bell icons if this is your first time subscribing, so you all get these alerts when this content is dropping. It's your boy Rain. At this point, until the next one. Yeah.